Welcome to Driven, the Unscripted Success podcast, with your hosts, Mike Menino and Nariman Hamden, bringing you insights and stories on achieving personal, professional, and financial success.
Hi, everybody. This is Michael Menino, and welcome to Driven Unscripted Success podcast. Today on the podcast, we're interviewing professionals who share their experience with you, the audience, on how they got to where they're at today. And zooming from the beautiful island of, where are you from, Elizabeth?
Port Charlotte, Florida.
Port Charlotte. Yeah, it's not really an island, but it's a nice place. The beautiful weather. I used to live in Florida, and I got rehomed to South Carolina, and trust me, the winters I miss Florida.
And
Elizabeth is one of the most amazing people you've ever seen. She's done 50 marathons in 50 states, where if I run 2 miles, I see dead relatives. And she's works at a property management company that we won't talk about. And can you do me a favor, Elizabeth? Tell everybody about yourself, where you're at, how you got to where you're at right now.
Sure. Yeah. Professionally, so I started out in the audit accounting space. And when Sarbanes-Oxley came out, kind of dipped my toes into compliance, which is where I am now. Had a little spin around in forensic accounting with fraud investigations at EY, and then went to internal audit and compliance and have been there for about 20 years now. And so now I am the Vice President of Compliance and Risk at a SFR property management company, and basically run the compliance program and the enterprise risk management program on a day-to-day basis.
Awesome. Tell us a little about your personal life. I mean, running marathons is insane to me, and doing more than one in your life is legally insane to me. And you do this on a yearly basis. How many marathons do you run in a year?
So I started out in 2008. Actually, I started out in 2005 with a 5K, and then I got addicted to the race atmosphere. And I'm a very goal-driven person. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do a 5K every month for a year. And I did that in 2005. And then I was like, well, I got to up the game. And I did a 10K every quarter the next year. And then I did 2 half marathons. And I did my first marathon in 2008. And I thought I was going to die. And then
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
But I got a sports massage, which I highly recommend. And then the next day.
Before or after?
Yeah, about 24 hours after. I actually went to work the next day and I felt so sick. Like the lactic acid buildup was just overwhelming. And I had to leave work that day. And I went and I got a sports massage. And let me tell you, it turns the world around. And I was ready to do another marathon. So I looked up and I was like, well, what am I going to do now? I've already done a marathon. You could do an ultra after that. But I decided, I was looking up stuff online and I found this 50 States Marathon Club. And I was like, all right, that's my next goal. So I signed up for the 50 States Marathon Club as soon as I could. You have to have run 10 states in order to sign up for the club. So I started my journey of running those 10 states. And I've actually run a total of 67 marathons because I did a bunch one year when we were adopting. Instead of traveling around, I was saving my money. So I did it all kind of local. And started my quest to do all 50 states. And then that took about 11 years. And
a decade.
Yeah, a little over a decade. There were several that in trying to save money along the way, I would do a marathon on Saturday and a marathon on Sunday. Close to.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
To save money yet.
Well, because you have to fly to the place, you have to have the hotel costs, like all the things, like traveling to do a marathon, it costs like $1,000 every time. And I was still young and, early on in my career, and I didn't have $50,000 to just, put away for every single marathon. So I tried to double up. There was one time that I did 4 in 1 week.
Wait. Don't glaze over this. You did 4 marathons in 1 week.
Yes.
26 point.
26.2 miles. Yes.
You did 100 miles.
Yes, and I tried to train for that. I had to basically do 15 milers during the week and then 20 milers on the weekend. So it was 100-mile weeks for a while just to train for that. But yeah,
Okay, that sounds legally insane to me. Well, congratulations, you did it. I mean,
I
that
did
is
it. I
amazing
did
to
it.
do
And
the.
I finished the 50 states in Chattanooga in 2019, right before COVID.
And then everybody gets, well, you can still run. You know, you can run anytime you want. That sounds, that I'm sure that I would say you were living in Michigan, they wouldn't even let you do anything.
Right. Well, in
Um,
Florida, it's a little easier because it's endless summer. And of course, in the summer, it's super hot. So that's actually
Got to go early in the morning,
right, very early in the morning.
right? And it still doesn't help that much, does it?
Not really, because the humidity is really high overnight, and then the sun's not beating on you, but the sun hasn't burned off the humidity. So you either have the sun or you have the humidity.
So, in your running situation, there's a lot of competition. What do you do that sets you apart from your competition?
So honestly, I didn't run it to run fast or to win. Although I did win two of the marathons.
You want to, I didn't mean to win, but I did win two of them. I mean, I don't
Well,
know
they
how
were
you do
small
that.
races. There were small races. There was a small race up in Kent, Washington that I did, the Green River Run, and I just happened to be the fastest female that ran that particular year. So I did.
What is your time for a minute?
So the one that particular one, it was 3 hours and 37 minutes. So it's not super fast. Like I also joined the 50 sub four club because there's a marathon club if you run all 50 states in under 4 hours. I haven't quite done that. I've only done like maybe 25 under 4 hours, and the rest of them were, over. But um, I'm not so sure I'm going to go back and finish all of them under 4 hours.
Well, I'm a professional brick breaker and I break bricks for fun, and I think that's crazy. So that that says a lot coming from me. You basically did an ultra marathon in a week.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so there's a group, and I can't remember the name of the group. I wish I could. That does consecutive days in different states, and they have the Center of the Nation series, and it was Montana on Monday, North Dakota on Tuesday, South Dakota on Wednesday, Wyoming on Thursday, Nebraska on Friday, and Colorado on Saturday. I didn't do the South Dakota one because I already knew that I wanted to come back to South Dakota and do a South Dakota Iowa double. And so I skipped that one and I just volunteered that day. And then I had already done Colorado. So after I finished the Nebraska one, I just went home after that and had already done Colorado before. So I did four of the possible
Well,
six that they offered.
well, the Colorado. So I used to live in Colorado. Now I know two things about Colorado. There's no flat part,
That's true.
and the only thing that Colorado is missing is oxygen.
Yes, yes.
So how do you run a marathon with up a hill and no air?
So I did this the Denver Rock and Roll Marathon in Colorado. And it wasn't too terrible. I mean, the best thing to do is get there early and kind of get used to it.
Get allocated to the yeah,
But
get
I would
acclimated.
say the worst one I did from a oxygen deprivation perspective was in Idaho, and Pocatello was like downhill for the first 8 miles, like very straight downhill, and it was high elevation as well. And by the time I got to the end of that race, I was looking for grass on the side of the road to fall asleep on. I was so oxygen deprived.
I know that feeling, but in Colorado, I moved out there. It was yeah, I went underwater and I held my breath for like 30 seconds. And I was like, "What's going on here?" And like, "There's no air." I'm like, "Hey,
Yeah,
great." But we
yeah.
were in the Springs. I think the elevation was 6,000. I think Denver's a little bit lower.
Yeah, I don't remember what the elevation was in the Idaho one, but it was very high. And I mean, I lived in Atlanta at the time, so our elevation was like, what, 1,000 feet maybe at the most.
Yep.
So,
If you ever want to know what your elevation is, you go to a sewer cat,
okay.
and there's a number. It's usually your elevation. A little
Interesting.
information. I'm a builder, so I always wanted to see what the elevations were on properties, and I could check it out. They always do that to I'll just help out where you're at.
Well, our elevation right
In
now
Florida,
is like
it's 4.
18, yeah, 18 feet.
Right, 18 feet. Well, that's pretty good. Usually, Florida's like nothing. I lived on a canal to the Gulf of Mexico, and they're like, "Where's sea level?" I'm like, "Right there." That's that's the sea right there. 6 feet. I think we're at
Yeah,
six
I'm
feet.
high enough to where I don't need flood insurance.
Good on you. Good
That's
on
just
you.
barely.
Good on you. Um, you also have 4 children too, right?
Yes, I do.
God love you. And I heard you adopted a couple.
Yes, 3 of my 4 are adopted from the foster care system.
Oh, congratulations. That God love you. That's amazing. I'm sure it's taught you a lot about life and people, didn't it?
Yes, it has. It has been a very challenging journey, to say the
I'll
least.
give you that. Well, let's segue into the next question. What is one of the biggest challenges you had to overcome in your life and career?
Well, in my life, for sure, it's been with my kids. I'm not. I'm not as much a nurturing person as many women are. I've been more career focused in my life, and my husband is much more nurturing than I am. And it has been a big challenge to attach to these children and to empathize with them and their struggles. So I would say that's definitely, and I'm not even beyond that yet. I haven't won that war.
Haven't won that war. Well, just keep going. I'm sure you enjoy them, and
Because
when
it
you
does it
enjoy them,
does feel like a war sometimes. Every day is like a new battle.
I I can't disagree with you on that. I had 2, and you have twice as many, so you've got a little more experience on that part. But I can tell you that the battle is worth the reward.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. We're getting there. My oldest is in college, so we're learning how the transition is from them being in the house to out on their own, and how much you still have to support them along the way, even when they're adults.
I come to you from the future. In a little bit of time, you'll be free. Free is the word I use, but it might not be 100% true. Free from the responsibility of helping them, and they'll be standing on their own, and it's a great place to be at.
I'm so looking forward to that. Honestly, when I became a mother to begin with, I was looking forward to being a mother of adult children. I wish they could just pop out and be adults.
Nope,
And unfortunately, that's not how it works. But I see
nope.
like my relationship or my husband's relationship with his parents, and I absolutely love that. And I would love to have that with my children. It's just so hard to get there.
Like I said, it's a battle. You're right, it's a battle, but it's worth the reward. That's all I can really say. And when I talk to you in a couple of years and it's all done, you'll be like, wow. And when you look back, I look back at what we did raising the kids, and I was like, wow, that was a lot of work. But when
Yeah.
you're in it, you realize it. I didn't realize it. I just thought we got to do this. 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 Take them to school to get the pictures, do this, go to camps. Be chaperones of things. I took them to karate, and when you get done and you look back, you're like, wow, like just wow.
I'm looking forward to having a little more free time after they're
You
gone.
will, you will. Just give it a little bit more time. Um, Sounds like things are going pretty well for you right now. What's in the future look like for you and your family? What are your plans? Are you going to plan on? We had talked about this earlier about other marathons in other countries.
Yeah, so I'm running Berlin this year. So that's the first international of the Abbott Marathon majors that I have or will be trying to do. And then I would love to do London. I'll put my name in for the lottery next year to see about doing it in 2027. And then got to finish that out. So Tokyo and Sydney are now on the list as well.
Tokyo is great. We talked about it off camera, and it really is an amazing place. And I was trying to explain it to you, what's it like? And I was like, and the best way I can describe it is the most technology advanced place on the earth and the least technology place on the earth. It has a tower that you can walk, go up in the tower, and it's 1,500 square feet over Tokyo, and you can see Fuji Mountain and the buildings look like Legos. And then you go pay your bills at 7-Eleven and get a fax machine or, do faxing at 7-Eleven. And it's
That's
a
hilarious. I
unique
didn't even know
culture.
faxes still existed.
I I saw it. I have one just for memorabilia, and it's more of a printer than anything else. But I send it when I was over there, and I saw people using it. And the food at 7-Eleven is really good. I don't know. Oh God, how to explain
Oh,
this. The food at 7-Eleven is really good. It's
interesting.
it is. It
Yeah,
is.
I mean, one of my challenges with traveling is I am gluten, dairy, and soy free. And so trying to uh, say that in that language so that people understand what I can and cannot eat, I think is going to be a challenge.
You're gonna have to learn some phrases, or you can copy them and save them in voice notes in your phone.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good idea.
Hey, I'm gluten intolerant, and could you help me out? There, ugh, I don't want to push this on you, but I've heard people that have gluten intolerance in the United States and go to other countries like Italy and Japan. They're not gluten intolerant, which is a weird
I
concept
have
for
heard
me.
that as well, and I'm
I'm
going to
not alone
check
in
it
this.
out when I go to Germany. So I'm actually going to be traveling with a friend of mine, and we're going to go to Italy and Germany during that trip. And after the race is over, because I don't want to try anything before the
No,
race and have a bad race, but after the race is over, I do want to try some gluten-filled food over there and see how it works with my system.
I'm very interested. You're gonna have to report back to me and see if it's true. But I think we add some additives that we don't even tell people about.
Oh,
Folic
sure.
acid is in our white flour that no other country has,
Well, I don't know
or
how
very
true
few
it
other
is, but I
countries.
read an article that the way that we harvest grain in the United States is we kill it with Roundup and pesticide, or not pesticides, but weed killer beforehand, so it's easier to harvest, and that's part of why we have all the problems with the gluten. But I don't know how true that is.
I don't either. Let me know. So also, you have a book coming out. Is it out or is it coming out?
It is
Talking about the
officially out
future.
on Amazon, yes.
Nice. What's the name of it? What's it about?
It's called Barren. It is a contemporary story of Sarai, who is Abraham's wife from the book of Genesis, chapters 11 through 13.
Mhm.
And it's basically a modern day reimagining of that storyline in America in today's time. So it's told from the perspective of Sarah or Sarai, and basically her experience as she is leaving her hometown that she's lived in for her whole life, and the emotions that come up with that loss. And then when they go to the promised land and then have to leave because of in Genesis it's a famine. In my book, it's a hurricane. They have to evacuate to Mexico, and then she is taken by the cartel. In the Bible, it's Pharaoh. In the book, in our my book, it's the cartel. And the experiences of the betrayal and whatnot, and then does she get out of that situation? So that's what the book is about. It is available on Amazon now.
Awesome.
And yeah, so that just released on Memorial Day.
So what's the name of it again, so everybody can remember it?
It's called Barren.
Barren, like the barren land, not like Trump barren.
Correct. Well, it's barren as in she cannot have children. She's barren.
Okay, good. All
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
gotcha. All right, cool. It's exciting. Excited to hear the outcome of the book.
Yeah.
Um,
And I'm working on a sequel to that, so it's
nice. What's that?
released.
Can you share that yet, or?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm hoping that it'll be released in Thanksgiving time this year, 2025. And it is the story of Hagar, again, reimagined in modern American times. So in that particular story, there is the challenge that we have in the world today of modern slavery and human trafficking is incorporated into that, and how does the survivor of that experience move beyond that and work through the trauma of that. So it's told from Hagar's perspective as she is forced to have a child with Abraham and all of that. And then she's kicked out of the family. And how does she survive, those situations? So I'm about 2/3 of the way through writing that. And I'm hoping that it'll release around Thanksgiving time for Christmas.
So, well, congratulations on in advance.
Thank you.
I like asking this question at the end. To the wrapping up to the end, where you're at now, and knowing what you know now, if you could go back to your 20s and have all the knowledge you have now, what would you do different, or what would you do the same?
I would probably not adopt children.
I get what you're saying on that. It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. It is a lot of work. So that would be one of my changes. I love my career. I love the compliance space, the enterprise risk management space. So I would continue on that path. I enjoy going to work every day and trying to help others navigate ethical dilemmas and, help businesses in identifying risks and reducing those risks so that they are going to be successful in the future. So I would definitely continue along my career path. I think that has been a really good part of my life, and I would certainly keep running marathons. But
oh my gosh, you would want to do that over?
Maybe spread them out a little bit because the gluten dairy free is a result of all the running.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Like I said, I break bricks for fun, and what you do is legally insane to me. I did a 3K, which is really 2 miles, and it was. I understand. I've never done an organized race before, but I understand the competition.
Yeah, and it's not. I mean, it's not like I'm not a competitive person necessarily, but the running is really competitive against yourself. You're trying to break your own personal record and whatnot. But the atmosphere of everyone together and running the same race and going for the same goal, all of that, I just got addicted to. And I really love being a part of the community because it really is a community.
I agree wholeheartedly. I dipped my toe in the community, but I'm going to stay where I'm at.
It's not for everyone.
It's not for everybody. Real quick, Elizabeth, if anybody wants to get in contact with you, how would they do that?
LinkedIn, I would say. My LinkedIn, I'm always active on that. I'm posting things, particularly in the compliance community, always reposting jobs that I see out there for people. So always happy to share my knowledge, and I really try to mentor others in this space as well. So I would say the best way to contact me is through LinkedIn.
Hey, listen, thank you very much for your time. We do appreciate it. And if anybody would like to contact her or get her books, please do. It's on Amazon, right?
Yes, on Amazon.
That's fantastic. I hope it gets the #1 bestseller. Thank you for your time again today, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you. It's been great.
Thanks for listening to Driven, the Unscripted Success podcast. Want to share your story? Apply to be a guest at drivensuccesspodcast.com/guest.